Yeah, we're hosting the Texas A&M Invitational this weekend. It'll be our first home meet of the year out at the Watts cross country course. Obviously, many of you know it's a great venue for cross country. We're excited to host at home. A handful of college teams. I think there's 7 or maybe I didn't count, 9 or 10 college teams competing. We're also hosting, in conjunction with that, hosting the Texas A&M High School Invitational, which will follow the college meets, and we'll have somewhere between 30 and 40 high schools from throughout the state of Texas. It's good to be back at home. We opened up at Oklahoma State 2 weeks ago, where we saw some really good competition, and we'll be back in the comfort of home this weekend before hitting the road again. So we're excited to be at home and excited to run in front of the home crowd, friends and family, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay, let's go back to the TV row. We'll start with Tyler from KBTX, and then we'll go to
just the way you guys started at Oklahoma State. How encouraging of a sign is that? And then does it help the fact that you are already familiar with the course that you're going to have the NCAA championships at too? Yeah,
we felt like things went really well at Oklahoma State. We wanted to change things up a little bit this year to kind of get out of our comfort zone. Traditionally, we've hosted at home and really only hit the road once during the quote unquote regular season of cross country, and felt like going up there, Oklahoma, I think on the men's side, like Oklahoma State's ranked 2nd in the country, Arkansas, or Tulsa's ranked 6th in the country, Arkansas is ranked 12th or 14th or something like that in the country, and then both Arkansas and Oklahoma State are nationally ranked on the women's side. So we saw some good competition. Nobody was at full strength necessarily, but we got on the NCAA course at Oklahoma State. Like I said, got out of our comfort zone. We're so used to it. So, the last few years, especially last year, we saw a lot of growth in our team. But obviously at the end of the season, we weren't necessarily pleased with how we raced at the end of the season. And so we wanted to change it up a little bit this year. So, like I said, getting out of the comfort zone, having to get on the road is part of the plan for this year. So this weekend, we'll be back to normal. It's back at home. We're very familiar with this course. And we host the regional championships here later in the year, so we're excited about being back at home. I don't know if that answered your question.
Let's go down here to the front to Travis Brown from the Eagle.
Yeah, Coach, you have returners on both men's and women's team, especially some upperclassmen. What do some of those guys and girls bring back to the team?
Yeah, I think they bring. One of the things, like I said, last year. One of the things we were really excited about and we really harped on and worked on was kind of the team culture. And I think coming off of COVID from the year before, I just think things kind of were in disarray. And so we kind of, the exciting thing last year was how the athletes really took ownership of the culture of the program and really pushed things forward and moved things forward. And you could see, obviously, coaching distance runners, it's a full year. It's cross country, then indoor track, then outdoor track. And so we really saw a ton of growth. We saw great culture growth in the fall, and then continued growth, a lot of performance growth as the year went on. And had by the end of the season in track, kids were really, our distance crew was really rolling really well. And so I think they bring back that experience. Hopefully they bring back that calming effect on some of the younger athletes. And their leadership is really, it's incredibly valuable. It's invaluable. And they can, because we've got a lot of young kids that are in the same position they were in 3 or 4 years ago, and they can, we really harped on, okay, take care. We got big freshman class. Let's take care of these kids. Let's take care of them so they can get to where you're at quicker. They don't have to go through all some of the roadblocks and stumbling blocks you went through. So Grace Plain, Julia Abel, used to be Julia Black. She got married this summer. Abby Santoro, just really on the women's side. On the men's side, Eric Cazares, Gavin Hoffpower, even Teddy Radke, who had a huge breakthrough in track for us last year, getting 4th in the SEC championships in the steeplechase. Even Cooper Cawthra, who's in cross country only a freshman, but he's been an SEC scorer in his 3rd year. They just really they've worked hard at taking kind of young kids under their wing a little bit and trying to mentor them along and saying, hey, listen, some of these things are to be expected, so don't freak out when you're a month into the training, and you're really tired, and you're like, why am I so tired? And why is everything coming at me 100 miles per hour? New coaches, new classes, new teammates. I got to figure out my way around this 65 plus thousand student campus and get from point A to point B. So they've been really good at I think trying to stabilize the young kids and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been invaluable.
Let's go left side front to Zach Taylor from Bryan Broadcasting.
Coach, you mentioned Eric Caceres. Can you just expound a little bit on his performance, obviously in Oklahoma State, getting SEC Men's Runner of the Week, and then how can he improve on that coming up in this meet?
Yeah, I think Eric learned some valuable lessons last year. He got off I don't know if you remember, but he got off to a blazing start last year, breaking, smashing our course record. He went up to Missouri and smashed their course record. And then really he got sick, and he had battled COVID the year before. Then he got sick and just kind of took a step back. But he took more of a step back than I think, than the illness. It was just kind of like he just wasn't running as well at the end of the year. And so we talked about it heading into track, and he ran well in track, scored in 2 events at the SEC championships and really improved quite a bit. And so he enters this season with a little bit more maturity, and so understanding that, okay, I want him to keep a chip on his shoulder a little bit, but I don't want it to be so big that every race goes out early in the season and turns into some kind of test of how good of a human being he is or anything like that. I think last year that's what his attitude was. I'm going to show everybody, and he ran out of gas at the end of the year. So he's kind of approached the season with a little bit more maturity and a little bit more patience, and hopefully that pays off at the end of the year, because the way he was running, I mean, we've had since I've been here, we've had some really good people. I mean, Henry Lillay was 5th at the NCAA cross country championships, and I mean, I think last year after our A&M Invitational, I think somebody asked me, could he be All-American? And the way he was running there, I'm like, yeah, he could be. I mean, literally, the way he was running at the A&M Invitational last year, I'm like, well, this guy could be top 10 at the NCAA championships. And then he wasn't even at the NCAA championships. So, so he needs to figure out, and I think he's started to figure out how to kind of ration out that energy so that when we hit November, he's running the way he did last year in September. So yeah, he's a really talented young guy, but he's still young as a runner. He's still, he didn't have a very extensive high school career. Then he went to Oklahoma for a year and was just, kind of there, and didn't really get much accomplished and transferred here, and has been kind of learning since he got here. So
Let's go back to the TV row and go to Ben Peck from KAGS.
Coach, could you, I know it's a little ways off, but could you speak to the course being able to host the National Junior Olympics and kind of what that can do, especially bringing in I'm presuming some of the top recruits right here to the home course?
Yeah, I mean, it's when Jim Hurd reached out to us, I forget how many years ago, about building a cross-country course, building a permanent cross-country course in conjunction with the projects that were going on out there at the equine complex. That's what we envisioned, having the kind of course that could attract these kind of events. And so, hopefully this is just another chance to showcase, our facilities, our program, Aggie Land. As many of you know that live here, when people come from the outside, especially people that have a picture in their head of what Bryan College Station is going to be like, what Texas A&M is going to be like. Either they've never been here or they've, they haven't been here in 20 or 30 years. I think they're blown away by this community and this university and the facilities and the town itself and the people. And so that's the hope, is that we're an extension of that by bringing, hopefully, I don't know how many, 1,000 plus athletes or whatever it is going to be for the Junior Olympic Cross Country Championships. And obviously, I think the ages go from like really little young kids to all the way to high school, juniors and seniors. So hopefully for the young kids, hopefully they're getting their first taste of this place, and they walk by Kyle Field and think this place is amazing, think our cross country course is awesome. And then for the upperclassmen, hopefully they get a chance to go out there and go, yeah, I can see myself running here someday. And that's the hope. And hopefully we continue to get big meets like that. Hopefully You know, I mean, we've talked about trying to high school coaches around not just this area, but high school coaches up in the Metroplex, high school coaches in the Houston area, San Antonio. They've all reached out to us about trying to figure out how to get the high school state meet here, which would be phenomenal too. And that's always there's logistics involved with that and everything, but hopefully we can continue to. You know, that course is really fantastic. There's some things we'd like to do to make it even better, but you know, there's nothing like it in the state of Texas. There's not many like it in the United States at all. And so, any chance we get to showcase it and get people on it, the better it is. So,
We'll wrap it up with Travis here in front.
Yeah, kind of a fun. You mentioned Julia getting married this
Yeah.
summer. Is it an interesting one for a coach to get a new name down? And what's it like having an athlete that's taking that step in their life?
yeah, I mean, it's not the first time it's happened in my coaching career, but yeah, it's you know, getting used to calling her by a different last name and everything like that. She's still number one in the alphabetical order because Black, she was number one on the roster. She's still, you know, able. She had to change the name. So I told her I'm still gonna call her Black every once in a while accidentally. I used to always yell Black Attack and stuff during races and stuff. So I said I'm not gonna stop doing that. She's totally fine with that. But yeah, I mean, she brings a little bit. You know, I think anytime you take that kind of step in your life, she was already a very mature young lady. She was mature as a freshman, and but you know, now she's coming from a different perspective. I mean, she's a wife, you know, so you don't have many of those on your team, and you've got, you know, 17, 18-year-old freshmen who are just trying to figure out, you know, up and down, and I joke with my daughter who runs high school cross country. You know, every once in a while she'll talk about now their boys and girls team are together. She'll sometimes roll her eyes at the high school boys and their immaturity, and I say, you know, it never changes. So I can imagine Julia now, you know, going for her third degree at Texas A&M, and you know, being a wife, and now she's got some 18-year-old freshman guys cracking 18-year-old freshman guy jokes at practice, and she must be really rolling her eyes. But yeah, it's fun. She's been a great leader. Her and Abby Santoro came in together from Keller High School, and they were best friends in high school, and we convinced both of them to come here. So it's been fun. I will definitely. That senior class that her and Abby and Grace Plain, kind of the leaders of that freshman class, I'll really miss those guys. So, yeah.
All right, I think that's a wrap.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank you
Coach.
very much. Hopefully we see you all out at the Watts Cross Country course on Friday morning.